wanted to talk to you guys today about my book that I'm writing. The series is called Sojourner, and that is a term that means taking like a journey, a spiritual journey, or a pilgrimage, or a small journey somewhere. And to me, the name just really says soul journey to me, to making a journey of the soul, which is kind of what my character does. My character's name is Vance Cooper, and she's a tomboy. The way I write the book, she's identified as a he because she's more felt safe as a he and just felt better as a boy, I guess. But she's not like gay or wants, that sort of lifestyle. It's just a sort of protection, I guess, concept. I don't know. I don't know why it came out that way, but that's how I wrote it. And so my book is actually about a 13-year-old girl who is an orphan, and on her 13th birthday, she goes on a little adventure and finds a book in a metaphysical bookstore that actually is a very ancient, highly sought after tome that has been hidden for many, many centuries. And the book was sort of waiting to find her, and she picks up the book, and the book becomes part of her and goes inside of her. And the book actually is a living book. It has two sides to it. One side you read the book, and it's all of the powers of the dark side and the dark magic. And if you flip over the book in the other side and read it, it's all the powers of the light side, of light magic. And this book, it actually talks and has a face on each side of the cover. And so when she opens the book, it actually goes inside of her, and she becomes this living handbook with all of the knowledge of light and dark magic, but she's not able to comprehend it or access it at this time because there's these 9 seals that have been placed on her conscious awareness in order for her to gain access to these powers. So when she opens the book, these elemental guardians come to help her and to protect her as she traverses these different tests in order to break the seals to access her true power. And whenever she gets in a sort of a dangerous situation, or when there's trouble and there's no way out, she actually accesses the knowledge of the book and is able to transform into her higher soul form self and become an adult version of her with armor and all the access and knowledge of the book. Hi! There's a little kitty. So my first book, she meets the tome. It becomes part of her. She meets the guardians, and the guardians keeper, which is Gran. I have a wise old lady who helps them do spells and things to get into the Veiled Kingdom. So my whole first book is about how they get into the Veiled Kingdom, how they're getting to the first seal. So I kind of wrote it really quickly, and it seems like a short sort of book, but as a sort of series that I see it in my mind, as an animated series, it's like the first installment movie that you introduce to the characters and the concepts. And then currently I'm writing the second book called Beyond the Veil, and in the second book our characters go to the first seal, where they unlock the seal with the help of Mercury, who in my book is a female, and she appears at the very end of the first book, and I don't want to give things away. Spoilers! So, but I mean, I do plan on reading the book and having it available on YouTube to listen for free. Anyone can read it, and I just want to share it and share the concepts and share my writing. And I don't really care it makes some bestseller list, or if it makes $1 million, or makes me like Harry Potter. I mean, obviously I do care, like, hey, that would be awesome, but that's not why I'm writing it. It's not the goal. It actually just came to me in a flash, and I'd already had all these different ideas and characters. I just didn't have any sort of solid storyline down. And then I went through some very traumatic events last year, and in the midst of all that, I found this story. And so I've been working on it for about 1.5 years now, almost 2 years, because 2 years ago I started the characters, and then a year later I found the story how I wanted it. But I always had these elemental guardians with me, and Vance is the sort of inner child that was developed through the hardships that I went through. So that's what my story is about. I hope it's curious to you. I do have a prologue up right now on CreateSpace and on my blog at Sojourner series blogspot. I'll put another link of whatever that is. And you can read the prologue, which kind of goes into the more fantastical realm of the story, where we're engaged in a giant battle, and during the battle the elemental guardians are manufacturing a host body for the living handbook, and things go wrong. And so that's how the story begins, because there's a prophecy that my book is based on, this prophecy that the world will return to magic again once the living handbook returns. And so the living handbook can only be activated through a pure crystalline soul. So Vance is that pure crystalline soul that becomes the living handbook, and thus activates the prophecy, which is sort of the fuel for this never-ending war, the war of ages that just keeps happening, never begins, never ends, always two sides, always good, always evil. Vance goes on adventures and stuff to sort of balance that, and to bring harmony between the extremes of good and evil. So that's what my book is going to be about, or books or series, and I'm, really excited to draw it and make it, but I just don't have enough time sometimes, or I have to hustle and make money, or I just don't have a comfortable place to work. So any of you out there who like my story or are interested in hearing it and seeing it, please check out my Patreon account. I don't have any patrons. And I just made the thing, I guess, a couple months ago, and I've never really advertised, and I've never made videos, so here I am doing it. And thank you, finally. My friend Robin, she was like, make your video, go do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I don't know what to say. I didn't even put makeup on. Look, y'all, no makeup, wearing my normal scrub clothes. I did put a feather in though, just to be cute. I don't know. Oh my god, I'm gonna edit this out for sure. No, yeah, maybe. Anyways, so yes, I am begging for money, and I will provide all kinds of content for patrons, and I really don't know how it works yet, but I have to figure out, what people will want. So I'm open to people messaging me and telling me what they think, or even sending me requests for art or commissions or jewelry. I also do energy work. I do readings, and I do adjustments and all that stuff. So I'm willing to trade any of that stuff for help with creating the series. Also for I do need new equipment and things like that. So if anyone has, like, I don't know, like a nice phone laying around and wants to donate it to my cause, I'll be very appreciative. So yeah, that's my book, and please fast forward to all the begging part. Yay! All right.